Hello everybody, welcome to APING Altcoins. Every Wednesday I'm going to release a video for whichever 3 altcoins are most requested. Okay, we'll review the overall technical analysis and look at some possible trades that we can end up taking in the near term. For today's video, I'm actually going to review 2 instead of 3, and because BTC has done next to nothing this week, I think it would be more exciting for us to review an altcoin come live stream tonight. So we're going to take a look at 1 or 2 of the other more popular asked for or requested altcoins for the live stream tonight, and I'll cover Matic and Solana in this video. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. We're going to start by taking a look at Matic, which has had quite a bit of strength here. So we're going to zoom out. I just want to give you guys kind of an overall view. We do have this macro channel here from bottom to top, back to the bottom. You can see that the midline has been very well respected. I would look at, as crazy as this is to say, pending what happens with BTC and ES1, okay? So there are macroeconomic conditions that will affect this, but pending that, it would be possible to see a rotation to the midline. Now I know that sounds really crazy given everything that's going on, but ultimately, we've talked about this many times in the Discord, what is range trading? Bottom to top to bottom to top, and guess what we had? A deviation, broke back in, retested, and now we can simply rotate again, okay? So that's sort of the macro outlook, is that we broke back into the macro sideways channel. We are finding support here. If we are to truly break out, and especially if we were to break up above this high here, then I don't see any reason why we couldn't get back up to the mid-range. Okay, so enough of hopium. Let's get back to reality and where we actually are on the chart, more locally. We do have this falling wedge. We are seeing what is actually a very nice breakout. Yeah, good degree of volume, good uptick in volume, nice thrust candle, good continuation. This is a really nice breakout on the falling wedge for Matic here. We are sort of fighting this local value area high, which we can see we've had 2 consecutive 4-hour closures above, which is a good sign. And again, we'll have to see where BTC and ES1 wind up with this. But if we do continue to hold this, then I don't see any reason why we couldn't have continuation. Now, where I would look for my next trade would be this daily level here, and we'll take a look at why. If we just get rid of that here, we'll put on this value area high, so we can see that we have the value area high of this upper range here, and we also have an untapped daily level here. And then, to top it off, we also have the 618 of the range falling right here as well. So we can see that this zone overall would be a really nice resistance. I'm just going to hide the 618 so it's a little bit more clear. But we can see here that this zone would be a really nice resistance, okay? So if we do get a move up to here, I would look for some degree of a pullback. And if we were to draw this out, just very simply looking, if we were to draw this out, like let's say with Elliott Wave, we would be looking at a, 1, 2, 3, a sideways 4, right? And then some degree of continuation for a wave 5, right? Maybe we can get this up a little bit higher, something like this, right? And of course, this is all pending all of our other factors that we would be taking a look at. Now, when it comes to this wave 4 retracement, I would be looking at, let's say if we were to reach that high, I would probably look more towards the 382 as a retracement point. Let's just take a look at that too. I want to pull up this fixed range. Yeah, so if we were to extend this fixed range over, so this ultimately this value area that we have here in this zone, if we were to break up above that, have continuation, get to this what would be a very massive resistance zone, we do reject from it, I would look to basically back test this value area as well as the 382 and hold this area as support. Okay, let's just take a little look back too. I'm just curious. Okay, so it would be a little bit lower. Yeah, if we were to say lose that, let's take a look at where our 0.5, you know, possibly back to our 0.5. Typically, you do not want to see your wave 4 overlap your wave 1. So, you know, that wouldn't be something you would see unless this wound up being some degree of a leading diagonal, which we're not going to dive too much into that. As of right now, I would just assume that we would not overlap that, and we would simply come back down somewhere like this and back test the top of this value area. Somewhere on top of this value area in the 382. If we did get some degree of an overlap, or if something did change there, of course we'll keep you guys updated and we'll go from there. So I'm going to get rid of all this stuff here. That would be where I would look for my next short. I'm not a breakout trader, so personally I wouldn't long this, but if we were to, you know, have some degree of a back test, hold this area as support, I would, you know, I'd look for some degree of a long, especially if we broke down even a little bit more, pending BTC and other macro conditions, right? But for the time being, my next trade on Matic would be to short this zone if we do get some degree of continuation. Taking a look at Solana. Gosh, yeah, Solana. Let's go ahead and get rid of some of these here. Clear up the chart. Do want to do a, let's just do a fib pull and see where we wind up on this chart. Yeah, so we're below the, I bet we're at the 886. Yes, we are. Let's just try something out quick here. Targeting, well, it's crazy to even think or talk about these targets. I mean, I don't want to get everybody too excited here, but this would be a bearish harmonic that would ultimately target about, you know, 50 bucks. So this is something to keep in mind. I think it's very interesting that we do have this drawn out here. I'm not going to get overly excited about it. Let's keep it in mind. I'm going to hide it. We'll put it in our back pockets and keep it for later if Solana does start to show strength. But in the meantime, if we just zoom in here, so we can see that we held the 886 as support. The range value area low, so if we were just to, I'll show you guys, I do have it marked out, but we'll go ahead and just draw it here. Whoops. Draw this out. So we can see here that we've broken down below the range value area low. We back tested it and broke down again twice. So this, in my opinion, is pretty bearish. It's not good. For the range value area low, we're breaking out of the value area. It's really not a good sign. So we're gonna take a look at two zones. First of all, if by some you know, what would seem to be some miracle, let's say BTC pumps and ES1 does get a good pump too, and it were to pull Solana along with it, if we were to gain acceptance back into the range or into the value area, my very first and very key area of resistance would be here. We have a daily order block here, we have the range point of control, we have an untapped daily level, all within this zone. It would be a really, really key area to short. So if we were to get that move up, I would look for a short here. If we were to break through that by some miracle, we can see that this level here has been extremely key level of resistance at 34. That is definitely a level you want to have on your marked on your charts. Look at how many times it was rejected from there. If we were to show some real strength and breakthrough, flip to support, I would look to that key resistance again to short. Okay, so daily range point of control, key resistance, 2 areas to look for a short trade in the case that we do get a pump. Now to the downside, the 886 is holding as support, which is reassuring. However, you know, if we were just to get a daily close and cut straight through this untapped daily, that's going to look super, super bearish in my opinion. And I would expect us to visit these range lows. Okay, we have this tapped weekly that held as support here. I'm going to go ahead and hide this. We have our low time frame value area low. So this is a key area of support. Okay, but I would look for, first of all, the very first trade that I would look for. We do have this trend line here. If we were to go like this and break down, I would look for a swing failure of this. And if we were to, like, you know, hold the low time value area low and weekly as support after breaking the low and possibly bouncing from there, we could look at some degree of a swing failure where then maybe we break out of this falling wedge that we have here, right? Otherwise, I mean, we're gonna have to take a step back and look at, you know, some weekly support. The next weekly we have is, it's all the way down at $14. It's pretty low. You know, it's basically we'd be looking at another 50% retracement. Let's just take yeah, and the point of control is down at about $3. Let's go ahead and just move that forward a bit. Let's see where we'd be at, like, for this weekly. Yeah, okay, so, boy. Yeah, so I would be looking at that weekly. I mean, you know, if we draw our value area from around that zone, you know, over to current prices, the point of control would fall at about that $14 mark. So, not to get overly bearish and kind of, you know, freak everybody out, we did have some, you know, we can see here if we were to extend this over this value area, this previous value area from this range, we can see that this area has really held the support nicely, right? We broke down, held the value area here, broke back up, rejected from the value area high and the point of control, and now we've broken down where things get a little bit concerning. As we can see here, the daily is breaking below this now, and we're looking at a possible daily close below. So that's to be seen. But if we were to lose this value area, like we're losing the value area low here, I would not count too heavily on that 886. I would look to take out this low, possibly see a swing failure that could be a potential long trade. Do not try to knife catch in this scenario. We would be very patient and see what would happen. You know, possibly looking to find support maybe in this, you know, $20 zone, which would also be a psychological level. But really the next key, like, strong support is at about 14 bucks. So that's something to keep in mind. All right. At this point, I really wouldn't be looking for too many long trades on Solana. And again, I am not a breakout trader. But if we were to see a breakdown, yeah, I would look for a swing failure would be my very first instinct. If it keeps falling, you know, I would look to sort of that $14 to $20 range, but especially that $14 to $15 range is key. Okay. So that's it for Matic and Solana. We're gonna wrap our APING altcoins video up here. Like I said, typically we'll have 3 of the most requested altcoins every week on Wednesdays. However, today we're only going to do 2, and tonight on the live stream we're going to take a look at either FTM or QNT or both. Depending on how much time we have, we're going to look at it from scratch. I'll run you guys through how I do my overall analysis. So it should be a really fun time. I hope you guys join me. Thanks again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the Discord later today.